Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. We all have days where we look at our dogs or cats sleeping in a sunbeam and think, man, they have it easy. No taxes, no jobs, no stress, just food, naps, and unconditional love. But what if you could have that life? What if the only price was your dignity? Today's story is about Arthur Penhaligon, a middle management accountant who was abducted by the Titanous gentle giants. They didn't want to dissect him. They just thought he was adorable. Arthur spent 6 months trying to prove he was a sentient, intelligent being capable of calculus. And then, he stopped trying. This is the diary of a man who looked freedom in the face and said, "No thanks, I'll take the belly rub." If you would trade your 9-to-5 job for a giant hamster wheel and free snacks, smash that like button. And if you want to know who's a good boy, sounds like an alien, subscribe and ring the bell. Here comes the treat. Day 1, the capture. I remember leaving the office late. I was stressed about the quarterly audit. I looked up at the sky, wishing I could just disappear. Be careful what you wish for. A beam of light hit me. I floated up. Standard abduction scenario. I prepared for the probes. I prepared for the lasers. Instead, I woke up in a box. But it wasn't a prison cell. It was a terrarium. The floor was covered in soft, cedar-scented wood chips. There was a water bottle the size of a water tower hanging from the wall. And in the corner, a plastic castle the size of my apartment. I stood up, brushing the chips off my suit. "Hello," I shouted. "I demand to see your leader. I am a citizen of Earth." The roof of the world opened. A face appeared. It was the size of a bus. 4 eyes, purple fur, and a mouth that could swallow me whole. "Ooh," the giant voice boomed. It shook my bones. "Look, Mommy. He's awake. He's making little squeaking noises." A massive hand reached down. I screamed. I tried to run. 2 fingers, soft as velvet cushions, pinched my jacket. I was lifted into the air. The giant alien child brought me close to its face. Its breath smelled like cinnamon and ozone. "He is so small," the child cooed. "Can we keep him? Please?" "Only if you feed him and clean his cage, Zyler," a deeper, motherly voice rumbled from above. "Terrans are high maintenance. They need constant enrichment or they get depressed." "I promise. I will name him Mr. Squishy. Mr. Squishy. I am a senior tax analyst. I have a master's degree. Put me down," I yelled, waving my fists. "I understand the concept of compound interest." "Look," Zyler giggled. "He is dancing. He is so happy." That was the moment I realized, they don't understand me. To them, my speech is just cute animal noises. I am a pet. Day 14, the intelligence test. I refuse to accept this fate. I'm not an animal. I am a human being. I have decided to prove my sentience through mathematics. Math is the universal language. While Zyler was at school, or whatever giants do, I smoothed out a patch of sand in my terrarium. Using a stick, I drew a perfect right-angled triangle. Next to it, I wrote, A superscript 2 plus B superscript 2 equals C superscript 2. The Pythagorean theorem. When Zyler came home, I stood next to my creation, pointing at it proudly. "Look," I said clearly. "Geometry. Math. Intelligence." Zyler looked into the cage. His massive eyes widened. "Mommy," he shouted. "Come look." Mr. Squishy made a picture. The mother peered in. "Ah." He scratched patterns in the dirt. "It's nesting behavior, Zyler. He is trying to build a burrow. Here, give him some toilet paper tubes. They love those." They dropped 3 cardboard tubes the size of sewer pipes into my cage. I kicked the tubes in frustration. "He loves them." Zyler clapped. The shockwave knocked me over. I sat in the tube and sulked. I calculated the volume of the tube just to spite them. Day 45, the wheel. They bought me an exercise wheel. It is made of gold-plated alloy. It has a silent ball-bearing mechanism. I swore I would never use it. It is the ultimate symbol of futility. Running in circles, going nowhere. But there is nothing else to do. No internet. No spreadsheets. So I stepped on it. I started walking. It was smooth. Surprisingly satisfying. I started jogging. Then running. The endorphins kicked in. I felt good. I haven't done cardio in 10 years. Zyler watched me for hours, mesmerized. "Go, Mr. Squishy, go." He gave me a treat every time I did a mile. The treat was a sphere of blue fruit that tasted like the best steak I've ever had. I ate the steak fruit. I ran another mile. I realized I was in better shape than I had been since college. And I didn't even have to pay for a gym membership. Day 90, the vet visit. I got sick. Probably a lack of vitamin D. I was lethargic. I didn't run on the wheel. Zyler was panicked. Is he broken? Is his battery dead? We must take him to the healer, the mom said. They put me in a travel carrier. It was a padded box with air holes. We arrived at the vet. The doctor was a terrifying, six-armed giant wearing a white coat. He picked me up with cold metal tongs. The doctor hummed. Temperature is low. Coat is dull. He needs supplements. Then he did it. The indignity. He produced a thermometer the size of a telephone pole. I fought. I bit his finger. Feisty, the doctor laughed. That's a good sign. He gave me a shot. It didn't hurt. Their needles are impossibly sharp. Then he gave me a lollipop. A literal lollipop the size of my head. I sat in the carrier on the way home licking the lollipop. I felt ashamed. But the lollipop tasted like grape soda. I slept for 12 hours. When I woke up, I felt amazing. Healthcare is free here. On Earth, that visit would have cost me $500. Here, it cost me a momentary loss of dignity. I started to do the math. Day 150, the encounter. They took me to the park. It was a designated area where other giants brought their pets. I was placed in a fenced-in playpen. I looked around. There were other creatures. A fuzzy slug from Alpha Centauri. A miniature dragon. And a dog. A golden retriever. From Earth. I ran over to it. Hey. I whispered. Buddy. You're from Earth too. The dog looked at me. Woof, it said. Do you understand what's happening? I asked the dog. We are prisoners. We are slaves. The dog tilted its head. It looked at its owner, a giant girl who was throwing a ball for it. Woof, the dog said again. It wagged its tail. It looked happy. Don't you miss freedom? I asked. Don't you miss chasing squirrels? The giant girl threw a ball. The dog chased it. It brought it back. Got a treat. The dog looked at me with eyes that seemed to say, Dude, I sleep 18 hours a day and eat steak. You're the one overthinking this. I sat in the grass. I thought about my life on Earth. I thought about the alarm clock ringing at 6 a.m. I thought about traffic on the I-95. I thought about my boss, Gary, who yelled at me for using the wrong font on a memo. I looked at Zyler. He was holding a bag of human chow, which was actually high-grade roasted chicken. He was looking at me with pure, unadulterated love. Nobody on Earth looked at me like that. Not even my ex-wife. To these aliens, I wasn't an accountant. I wasn't a taxpayer. I wasn't a failure. I was Mr. Squishy. The cutest, most special boy in the universe. Day 200, the rescue. It happened at night. A stealth shuttle landed on the windowsill of the giant house. Human commandos. SEAL Team 6. They cut through the glass. Mr. Penhaligon, the lead soldier whispered. We are here to extract you. Come with us. I stood up in my luxury bed, made of silk handkerchiefs. Extract me? I asked. Yes. We are taking you home. Back to Earth. Back to Earth, I repeated. To my job. Well, yes. You've been marked as absent for 6 months. You'll have some paperwork to catch up on. And the IRS is asking about your unfiled returns. I looked at the soldiers. They looked tired, dirty, stressed. I looked at my water bottle, my wheel, my castle. I looked at the giant door where Zyler slept. Tomorrow was Saturday. Saturday meant big treat day. You know, I said slowly, I think there's been a mistake. Sir? I'm not Arthur, I said. I am Mr. Squishy. Sir, you're suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. We need to go. Now. No, I said firmly. I'm staying. But why? You're a pet. Exactly, I smiled. Have you ever seen a pet pay taxes? Have you ever seen a hamster have a panic attack about its credit score? I have ascended, Sergeant. I have reached the pinnacle of existence. I am a good boy. The soldiers looked at each other. They checked their watches. We can't force him, the leader sighed. Command target is compromised. He has gone native. They left. I went back to sleep. The next morning, Zyler woke me up. Who's a good boy? He asked, scratching me right behind the ears in that spot I can't reach. I am, I squeaked. I am the good boy. I hopped on my wheel. I ran a marathon. I ate a grape the size of a melon. And for the first time in my life, I was truly free. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. We spend our whole lives trying to be alpha males. Maybe the true victory is becoming an alpha pet. If you would choose the hamster life, hit that like button. Comment below. What would be the hardest human food to give up if you became an alien pet? Subscribe. And remember, if you can't beat 'em, let them scratch your belly. Nap time initiated.